Hello, everybody. Realize my hair is wonky doodles today. I hope that everybody is doing well this holiday season. Welcome tonight. This is one of those last minute impromptu classes, but I felt really called to offer it. Sorry, my notebook keeps wanting to close itself on me, so we'll let it close. Because I know that I was feeling super stressed with the holidays, and I was feeling very overwhelmed. And I thought, you know what, if I'm feeling overwhelmed, I can't be the only one. And so this is where that class came from. And I apologize, I'm getting our little TikTok thing going because I like to go live at the same time with special classes like this so that anybody who needs this class can participate. And so the topic of this class today is I am enough, because the overwhelm of the holidays really made me feel like I was not enough, that I did not do enough, that I did not save enough, that I did not buy enough presents or bake enough cookies or do enough things when it came to getting ready for the holiday. And, you know, my kids would come home and be like, well, so-and-so's parents buys them 52 presents and, you know, they're going to the cabin by the lake, and why don't we go to cabins? And, you know, it kind of ends up making you feel like this insignificant person. And I know for me, I was like really feeling like I was not enough. And so this class is really focused on understanding that you are enough. You've always been enough. You always will be enough. And we're just going to talk about that and go with the flow, and then do some healing surrounding all the holiday stress to kind of release all that stress that's kind of coming at us. And so today, I want you guys to think about the statement, I am enough. And ask yourself, how often have you actually felt that that statement was true around you? You were enough. Do you believe that you were enough? And, you know, do you believe that when you give from your heart that that's enough? Do you believe that your efforts are enough? And just kind of meditate on that for a minute as I tell you kind of a little story. And I'm going to spit my gum out. Apologize. My daughter came up to me and she pointed something out. My daughter's Zen. She's the one that did a little sign language video on TikTok. And she goes, you know, Mom, the Grinch really didn't hate Christmas. And I was like, he didn't? I always thought he did. And she goes, well, no, he didn't hate Christmas. If you looked at his house, it was decorated for Christmas. He had his little Grinch tree and he had his little Grinch Santa outfit. He never hated Christmas at all. And I was like, oh, well, what did he hate? And she goes, he hated people. And I was like, well, I don't know that he actually hated people. And I started thinking about the Grinch. And I thought back to the beginning of the Jim Carrey version of the Grinch, where he made, you know, oh my gosh, I can never remember the names. His little love interest, Molly Who or whatever her name was, that kind of, you know, chunky Christmas angel. And he tried to shave his little beard and he got all dressed up and had this gift that came from his heart. Martha May, thank you. Someone on TikTok was Martha May Who. And he goes, I have a present for you. And he really, that present came from his heart. And what happened? He was hurt. He was made fun of. He was told he was not enough. His gift was not nice enough, that he was not dressed up nice enough, that he had, you know, to shave a beard when he was 7. And that was that moment where he said, I'm not enough. And what did he do? He ran away and lived in his little cave. And there's so many times where many of us do that, where we're like, I'm not enough. And we run to our cave. And sometimes that cave is food. And sometimes it's drugs. And sometimes it's alcohol. Sometimes it's shopping addiction. Sometimes it really is a cave where we just go into, I tend to do this. I go into reclusive mode. I flip on Netflix and I go start eating food, right? And all in an effort to distance ourselves away from people who feel like we're never going to be enough. I'm never going to be the daughter that my mom wants me to be, or that my dad wants me to be. I'm never going to be the person that people expect me to be. So why should I? Why should I even try? And we kind of stop trying, and we start numbing. This is, when we look at like holiday weight gain, tends to happen. A lot of people are like, oh yeah, we all gain weight during the holidays because we eat tons of cookies and, fattening foods. But weight is a protection, right? And your body, I actually had a friend who could eat thousands of calories a day. Like, I can eat like one taco and I'd gain like pounds, and she could eat like 50 and never touch it, right? Why is there the difference? Because her body didn't need show the need for protection, right? And so if your body goes into protection mode around the holidays, where you're like, I need to be protected from my crazy family, my crazy aunt, from all the chaos that's going around, from all that energy to be protected around. And what happens, our body says, well, the best way to do that is by eating that plate of Christmas cookies. And so you're like, oh, I'll just have one cookie. And then it's one more. And if you're like me, it's 13 cookies in a row, and you go, oh shit, what did I just do? And yes, I did literally eat 13 cookies the other day, because, and then I was like, and then I had to pause and say, oh my gosh, are we eating our emotions? If we are, oh my gosh, we have to pause and reevaluate that. And so we kind of get into these modes of protection, and we kind of become like the Grinch, where our heart goes, oh, let's protect our heart. Let's put up walls. Let's put up fences. Let's put up barriers. I have a friend who's an energy healer, and she's, she was doing some heart work on me a couple years ago. And I had a castle with a moat and a dragon. I had a lot of protection around my heart, right? Because I was just, I'd been hurt so much. Let me just protect myself and push everybody far, far away. And so we kind of can get into these modes where, we eat a little bit too much, we drink a little bit too much, and then the family drama starts and the chaos starts. And, we get stressed out. And I even got stressed out right before this call. I had all my Christmas presents planned. I finally started shopping. Yes, I'm late, but with my autism, I am like this one track mind. And I'm like, okay, I'm done with my clients. Now I can focus on shopping. And so I had everything ordered, and I ordered it, and Amazon's cart flipped the shipping to an address that was not, it was one we hadn't used in like 5 years. It was still in my cart, and I don't know why Amazon decided to shift the address. I have no idea. And I literally was like, oh my God, I have 15 minutes before this call, and I'm going to freak out because, last time Amazon did this, by the time the money was refunded back to my card and I could replace the order, it took like weeks. And I was like, Christmas is next week. That'll be too late. And I would have ruined Christmas. And then the tears came. And I was like, I ruined Christmas. And even I forgot. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, this goes for any holiday or any occasion, really. But, I was in this, oh my gosh, I've just ruined everything by not paying attention and making one mistake. And the tears flowed. And I was like, don't yell at the guy on Amazon. This is not his fault, because you know what? Being a Karen is a trauma response. Karens are trauma responses. Karens are the need to control. Oh my gosh, if I don't control everything and everybody doesn't do everything the way I want, my whole world's going to fall apart. And my old inner Karen from 20 years ago was starting to bubble up. And I was just calling and saying, I'm really, really sorry. I have 13 minutes until this call. And can you please help me? Because I feel like my whole Christmas is going to be ruined. And the guy was like so calm. And so he's like, yep, let's do this. Let's fix it. And he was so peaceful on the other end. And I was like able to kind of reset. And I was like, that inner peace that guy had really saved me from going into my trauma response, right? And so looking at, would Christmas have actually been ruined? No, but it felt like it. And it feels like that a lot when we get into the holidays. And whether you celebrate Christmas or Yule or Kwanzaa or, oh my gosh, there's like so many other holidays in the winter months. Forgive me that I cannot recall all of them, but there's so many important holidays right now in this kind of December, November bubble where there's a lot of family time and a lot of that energy that just permeates our lives. And all of these old traumas start to come up. And for me, that old trauma of, when I was first a single mom and couldn't afford Christmas gifts for my kids, that was horrible. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's going to be like that one Christmas where there wasn't anything. And, and so we go into these responses trying to fix. And, like the Grinch, when he was hurt and overwhelmed with Christmas, he turned into a recluse and he shut everything and everyone out. And all the Grinch wanted to feel was to feel loved. And I honestly think the Grinch may have been a little like neurodiverse, autistic, because he was very overwhelmed with the crowds of people and the parties as well. But I digress with that. So the thing that I want you guys to do during this holiday season, and you can use this at any time, is during your prayer or your meditation, I'd like you to start your day with, help me to get the most important things done today. When you feel overwhelmed and like there's too many things on your list to do, that is one of the things that has personally been my absolute saving grace when I'm overwhelmed, is my prayer or meditation. I pray because that's how I do some of my meditations. I do meditate as well. But I start my prayer with, dear God, please help me to get the most important things done today and know how to help people the best way I can. And that way, at the end of the day, no matter what happened, no matter if I got everything on my list or nothing on my list done, I know that whatever happened that day was the most important things, right? So, there was one day where I had all this stuff planned and my daughter needed help. And then my mother-in-law needed help. And then the end of the day came and I had nothing on my list done. And I was like, you know what? I feel overwhelmed because there's still stuff on my list. But deep breath, whatever I did today was the most important things. And it kind of really helps settle your heart to know you're getting the most important things done. The next thing that I do for list overwhelm, and this will help you guys when your lists are big and you're trying to shop and clean and get ready for parties or whatever you're trying to do, is I make my lists and I put the most important things at the top, critical tasks at the top. You have to get these things done. And then everything else goes down at the bottom. And as I work through my list, we check it off. Trying to find my Christmas list, maybe to show you guys. Where is this? Anyways, okay, so I haven't checked many things off today. There's one thing checked off. So everything else on this list that's not checked off goes to the top of tomorrow's list, so that I know tomorrow those things are going to get done. And then everything for tomorrow goes underneath that list. So you create this rotating list of how to get things done. And even if it doesn't get done today, well, it's going to be at the top of the list tomorrow. And the way that list continues to rotate and filter through. And to me, that works so much better than saying, oh my gosh, everything has to be done today. And until I'm done, I can't sleep. My daughter Vanessa's like that, bless her heart. I love her. But she's the type of person where it's like she has her list and she will not go to bed until everything on that list is done. And it makes her crazy. And, if she doesn't get things done, it's a meltdown. And I'm like, look, you don't have to do that. And yes, I do. If I don't get it done, no, we don't. And so try that technique of just make your list, make it very simple and rotate that list. And that's going to keep you guys from kind of really setting into overwhelm. The next thing that I want to encourage you guys to do is to just breathe. And this is the most important thing that I teach a lot of my clients. Sometimes I will get into doing an energy reading with my clients, and I'll be like, I'll sit there and be talking to them. All of a sudden I'll be like, I feel like they're not breathing. And I'll go and kind of fill my lungs. And I go, you don't take deep breaths. I'm like, you don't breathe at all. And often they're like, nope, I don't breathe. I find it hard to take deep breaths. It's really common for us, especially in the westernized world, to keep really shallow breaths. And we hold those breaths in the top of our chest. And instead, it's because we're kind of shallow breathing through our mouth and just getting the bare amount of oxygen in. Instead, we need to take these deep breaths in through your nose, pause, and then. And so if you guys have an Apple Watch, here's my watch. I don't think it's charged. No, there's a little breathe app. I don't wear mine as much as I should, but it'll actually remind you to breathe. And I'm like, oh yeah, I need to breathe. But if you find yourself being overwhelmed, pause and just do those deep breaths. Try 3. If all you have time for it with is 3 deep breaths, 1 deep breath, 2 deep breaths, 3. Okay, move on. If you're really overwhelmed, tell yourself. And I actually had one client, my client actually taught me this. She goes, I tell myself, she goes, I use your breathing method, but then I tell myself, I can get from one breath to the next. I can get from one breath to the next. And she will continue that deep breathing until she feels her body release and calm down. And so in the moment where things are really overwhelmed, I want to encourage you guys to breathe, to just do nothing but breathe and feel the space around you, feel the breath of life kind of flowing into you. And that's all. It's just breathe. And, you know, I do have some clients that deep breath work is hard for them. And so if you find breath work is hard for you, there's other things that you can do that can kind of recenter yourself and calm yourself. So one of the things that I would do very early on in my experiences with that, I would just sit with my hands on my chest, and I would just, anytime a thought came into my mind, I'd go clear, clear, clear. And then when my body would naturally want to breathe, I'd allow it. And then if something came into my mind, I'd go clear, clear, clear. And I would just allow my mind to kind of feel and process what's coming through and then release. So it's kind of a process and a release thing. And so we're like, okay, here's a thought. Oh my gosh, you need to call and pay this bill. And then you got to buy this. And then you got to go buy all the stuff for the party and make the food and cook the fudge. And then we're going to go, hold on, I'm just going to pause for just a minute, and I'm just going to clear. And every time that thought comes to me, we're just going to say clear. Or sometimes you can go blank, or sometimes I'll just go blank, 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 blank. Or I'll think of like the color white, just nothingness of white. And those things can be helpful as well. The last thing that I want you to do is recognize that if you're overwhelmed, if family's getting you crazy, you have permission to leave. You can leave the party early. You can leave dinner early. Or you can walk outside, take a walk, take a deep breath, go touch a tree and ground yourself. I know it's really cold around the holidays. If you feel like you need to ground, potted plants. I know you guys on TikTok can't see my plant, but those on Zoom can see my potted plant. We can touch potted plants to ground us. Any concrete is grounding. So, you know, maybe you have a warmer garage where you can kind of just touch the floor and ground with that. Or if push comes to shove and you can't get outside and you're just like, you feel like you need to ground and you have all this kind of like energy that's kind of overwhelming you, go grab a stainless steel spoon from the kitchen, get it on the bottom of your feet, and we're just going to rub that across your feet like that. And that's just going to help discharge that energy and let it go, right? And so if you can't get outside and you can't find a plant or a tree, get your trusty little spoon and rub the bottoms of your little tootsies. So, oh, awesome. Hippie Girl says, I do that. I just start naming everything I see in front of me and breaks up the mental pattern. So what about wood floors? So there's actually a great doctor, and I'm brain farting her name. She's on YouTube, and she does videos where she'll actually take a grounding meter and test different things and see if they're grounded. And I want to say she tested a wooden porch and it was not grounded. So anything that is touching the earth is typically going to be grounded, but not always. And so she has a little grounding meter, and she'll actually go touch things like, oh, trees grounded. Oh, she was actually very surprised to find out sidewalk was grounded. And so those things, you know, are actually physically grounding. What you can also do is envision roots coming out of your feet and pushing them through down into your floor, like little energy roots down into the earth. And you can just envision like an energetic root as well. And that's really helpful. I was actually taught that grounding technique by my friend Good Buffalo Eagle, who runs the Anasazi Foundation. Because when I first met him, when my son was 16 and my son was in a chaotic behavior, and we took my son to his foundation, he was like, oh, you need to ground. He goes, let me teach you how to ground. He's got this like really deep, you know, accent. He's just amazing. But that was the first time I learned to ground. And it was so, so helpful for me. And that was, gosh, almost 10 years ago when I first started that healing. So yes. So let's see, Turtle Cat Medium says she makes herself a tree, or he, she, I'm sorry, I don't know your gender, but makes herself a tree a lot. And I love that, where we're just like, I'm a tree, I'm a tree. And if you think about it, like the trees are just immovable and they're just like this great source of strength and energy. And so just send that energy down, and that can really help you. Energy shielding is probably another thing that you guys are going to want to do. And this is something that I've taught a lot of my group members and my mentorship members. And I've talked about it a little bit here or there. But, protecting your energy. So bringing in your energy, envisioning a bubble around you, a shield of light. Sometimes I will do like a pillar of light, and so it's just like this shield, this of energy that's like around your body, and just saying this shield is to protect me from anybody else's energy affecting me. If you're an empath, shielding before you hang out with the family is really important, because you get into a group with, I know my family Thanksgiving was like 30 people. And oh man, I was drained. And so, even shielding for me wasn't totally effective, because I was like, my shields are like, well, I remain shielded and protected with the exception of my children and my family. Well, guess what? Children and family was all I had at Thanksgiving. And I was like, duh, didn't set that one right. So really make sure that you're setting that in correctly. So as we go, whatever is going to help you maintain calm and relaxation is going to be the most important. And again, I actually sent this text message to my daughter, and I don't know where the guacamole, I had my phone and now I was going to share my text message with you guys. Guys, I was looking for my phone and I'm on it for TikTok. Do you guys ever do that where you're like on the phone and you're like, where's my phone? Sorry. Welcome to my chaos. Let me look at my messages and see if it shows what I sent her. I don't think it shows what I sent her the other day. Welcome to my chaos, but I posted it in my group. So if you guys are in my Becoming Spirit Fluent group, you can read it. But the gist of it is that you have permission to do whatever you need, to say no to whatever you want to say no, that you don't have to do everything all at once. And, what's most important is, maintaining your sanity and, protecting yourself, maybe your children, your spouse, and you don't have to feel obligated to go to, grandma's house and spend all day there. My son actually did something what I consider somewhat healthy on Thanksgiving, where he was like, the baby's overwhelmed and she needs a nap at home. So we're going to go home and give her a nap and come back later. And you can do things like that, and, we never really want to lie, because lying is a really kind of dangerous energetic pattern, but there are ways of wording things to get yourself out of stuff, So like my son, I could tell he was actually overwhelmed too, but he was like, oh, the baby needs a nap. And she did. And so that was a great kind of out for him. So, everybody kind of has their own ways of doing things, but just know that you have permission to call it a day, and to say, that's enough, I'm done, and to go. And there is nothing wrong with saying, I'm just not feeling right. I think I just need to go home and lay down. And not feeling right doesn't mean that you're sick. It means that maybe the energy is overwhelming to you. And so, really maintain what is important for you. Now, the one thing I want to talk about next is about who you are, because the topic is we're enough. And I think often we are really barraged with things in the world saying, advertising, say, hey, you're not pretty enough without this makeup, or you're not good enough parent if you don't buy your kid the $500 Power Wheels. All of these things that come at us saying like, well, you're not quite enough, you're not doing enough, go charge up your credit card a little bit more, go, buy that new outfit, maybe you'll feel like enough. And sadly, none of that stuff makes us feel like we're enough. But the really cool thing is that we don't need external validation. We don't need external stuff to prove that we are enough. because you guys were born from a spark of the universe. You were created with a rush of energy that is light, and that light goes on and on. And that is eternal energy. And it's created by bits of stardust and light, and that is you. And if you look at the way a cell and a body and an embryo start to develop, it's pretty much a 1 in a million shot that you're even here. And, you know, there are those that say in the spiritual world that there was a line to get into this earth. And I kind of think that it is. And I hope you guys don't mind. I want to show you guys, and I'm going to share with those of you that are on my Zoom, and then I'm going to flip over for YouTube. Now you guys can see my notes for the class. Everybody who's on Zoom, there's my notes. And there is this video that my husband showed me, and I want to show it to you guys. And so, okay, guys that are on TikTok, we're going to flop you over, and I'm going to play this so you guys can see it too. And all of the specs on my computer screen that you guys are seeing on TikTok is my energy clearing spray, because I do clear the energy of my computer all the time. And so it's like this little dust. So we're going to play this for you guys, because this is something that's pretty remarkable. And I want you guys to kind of witness this. So. So I just wanted to show you guys that really quick, because yes, this is really cool for science. And you know, guys, I like to connect the science and the physical and the spiritual and all that stuff. So science is like, oh, this is great for IVF. And, you know, we can tell which eggs and sperms are more viable. But what they didn't see is that flash of light, and that energy that is you starting to connect, and that creation energy that comes forth. And I was just blown away when my husband showed me that. He's like, yeah, they show this in his medical school classes. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the spark. That's the spark of the universe. That's the spark of us, that energy and that light, that eternal energy, that spark of that stardust. And so no matter how important or insignificant you think you are, no matter how strong or weak you think you are, like, forget it. Like, you're a spark of the universe. You have divine energy within you. And so take a moment and stop and kind of breathe into that and feel that energy flow through you. Because you guys are brave. You're loved exactly the way you are. I want you to know that you are enough. You are always enough. You were enough now. You were enough in the beginning of time when you were created, when you decided as a spiritual human to take your journey on this earth. You are enough, and you are perfect. And there's no better place for you to be right now than exactly where you are, to facilitate that spiritual learning and that spiritual growth. And so that's most of kind of like the presentation thing. And we're going to kind of go into like a little meditation to kind of help clear our energy and to let go of all the holiday chaos and all the little stress. Kind of just deep breathe and let go of everything, because that is the one thing that we can control, is ourselves. We can control how we act, how we react. If we pause and breathe, we may not be able to control all that chaos, but we can control us. And so if you haven't done a meditation with me, we're always going to start with the 3 deep breaths in. The deep breaths go into the nose. Pardon me, guys. So we breathe in through the nose, pause, and exhale. And we're going to kind of do that breath. You can envision breathing in pure white light and pushing out that energy. And I'm going to do that with you, and we're going to just do that 3 more times. And so I just really want you to feel into your body as you deep breathe. So deep breath in, pause, and exhale. Deep breath in. Pause and exhale. Deep breath in. Pause and exhale. You can continue your deep breathing as we go. And I just want you to feel into your body and notice what emotions you are feeling. Is it stress? Is it anxiety? Is it fear? Overwhelm? Is it joy? Is it laughter? Is it love? There's really no right or wrong answer. I always just want to start the meditation with recognizing where we are. Because no matter where we are, it's the perfect place for you to be. It's the perfect awareness to have, to be fully aware, to just fully recognize that we're having a human experience and that every experience has something to say and something to teach us. So we welcome all experiences and all emotions. But for now, we're going to just usher out any emotions that feel overwhelming, stagnant, or disruptive. I just want you to kind of just tell your body, tell your subconscious, for just the next few minutes, we're going to let those emotions go to the side. And then we'll come back and process them later. But right now, we're just going to set them aside. Just kind of breathe. And just take a couple more breaths in. I really want you to just feel your body. I want you to feel the emotions kind of melting away. I want you to see if you can find that little spark of the universe within you. I want you to see what you can find. You can feel a little energy, a little piece of the divine. You kind of just feel where that spark is living within your body. Just kind of sit with that. Sit with the understanding that you're perfect the way you are, that you're a divine being created from eternal energy, and that your energy is infinite, and that is beautiful and powerful. That with that spark of God and the universe within you, you hold the power to heal your body, to heal your mind, to heal your soul. You also hold the power to heal family trauma, to shift and change your world around you, and to make it into something that you are not scared to be a part of, to make your life into something that you truly love. And just as you were able to put aside those emotions we felt in the beginning, you are able to shift so much more within your life. So I just want you to breathe into the universal power that you hold within you. And then I'd like you to envision from the top of your head, there's a flower that starts to open. And from that flower, as it gently opens and unfurls its petals, there becomes a little beam of light from the top of your head. And that top of your head, it sends that beam up, 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 up to your higher power, to God, creator of the universe, connecting you with that source energy. Take a deep breath in. Feel that connection. And then down through your feet. Imagine energetic roots of light pushing down, down, down through the floor, breaking through the soil into the earth, connecting you to the earth's energy. Just allow the energy to flow down to the top of your head, down into the earth. Release anything that's not serving you. Then draw energy back up through your feet, through your legs and your torso. Back up, sharing that energy with the divine. Just kind of feel that connection. Feel that energy restore and rebalance your body. If there's anywhere that feels stressful or painful, let's move that energy over to your neck, to your shoulders, maybe to your back. Maybe you have a headache. Let's send some of that healing energy wherever you need it. Like little stardust and sparkles and glitter. Let it just dissipate and release any tension, any stress, any pain that you're feeling. Take a deep breath in. Then I'd like you to repeat with me. I am enough. I am smart enough. I am strong enough. I am brave enough. I am powerful enough. I am beautiful enough. I am intelligent enough. I am divine enough. I am spiritual enough. Everything about me is enough. I am perfect exactly the way I am. Even if I feel imperfect today, I was created by the perfection of the universe. And so I am enough. Allow yourself to kind of just breathe into your body. Now that you've recognized and felt your power and your ability to heal, let's pull in those emotions that we had from the beginning. And I want you to just hold them in your hand for a moment. They might feel like a heavy ball, a heavy weight. Maybe you're holding rocks or bricks. These are heavy emotions that have been weighing on you for far too long. And now that you know that you are able to release them, I'd like you to take those emotions. I'd like you to wad them up in a big ball, then throw it as far and as hard as you can, and watch that ball go up, 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 out, 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 out past the stars, past the planets, past the galaxies, and falling into the sun, poof, dissipating. Dissipate and release all that tension, stress, worry, pain, anger, and upset. Let it all just go into the sun and release it. Let's set our shields for the holiday. So let's breathe into your heart. Take a deep breath in. Feel that energy from your heart, which is the home of your soul and your subconscious, start to expand out, push that energy out, and let's form a shield of protection. It can look like a pillar of light, it can look like a bubble, or maybe a mirror. Let's set that protection. So right or wrong answer, whatever feels protective to you. Allow that to form around your body. Now let's tell the shield what it's going to do. Let's command the shield to protect our energy from anything or anyone that would do us harm. Let's ask the shield to stay with us through the holidays, as long as we need it, up until or after New Year's. We'll create this protection. Let's tell it how strong we want it to be. Let's make this strong enough to protect us from the stress and the overwhelm, strong enough to protect us from the chaos of family and life. But let's allow any loving energy to flow through. Let's allow the mother's instincts, if you have a child, to float through to you. If you want to give permission to a family member to connect to you, you can give them permission now. It might be a spouse or a brother or a sister, mother, aunt, uncle, anyone that you do want to remain fully connected to. Let's give them permission. And then let's connect our shields. Let's connect them down, 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 according to the earth, so that we can draw up any new energy we need. And let's connect that shield and bubble all the way up to God, Creator, and the universe. And allow that energy to pull through and restore and regenerate your shields for as long as you need throughout the holiday season. Take a deep breath in. Let's ask your shield to allow empathy. Let's ask your shield to allow strength and peace. Let's allow your shield to receive love. Let's allow your shields to receive gratitude. Just feel that shield, that energy flow around you. Take one more deep breath in. And repeat with me. I create the shield with the purpose and intent of protecting my body, mind, and soul from harm. I intend for it to protect me from those who wish to do me harm, but to allow me to still receive the love and the messages that I need to hear, to not fully protect me so that I may not feel empathy, but to fully protect me from harm. So let's tell our shield thank you. Send thanks and gratitude to the universe. Take a deep breath in. And finally, we'll just allow that shield to send light through to our body, anywhere our body needs some re-energizing. We'll permanently clear all negative attachments and emotions and stress connected to the holidays, anything we've released today, backwards through time, forwards into the future, on all levels and dimensions. And we'll just take another deep breath in and say thank you. And when you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes, move your body, come back into the room, and stretch if you need to. I know I always need to stretch a little bit. Just kind of notice how you guys are feeling. Hopefully everybody is feeling a little bit more balanced, a little bit more calm. And anytime that you need to, you have permission to find your quiet space, to reset those shields, to kind of breathe in and to meditate, to release anything that's not serving you, and really pull yourself in to really finding peace. All right, so third eye opening, so a deep yawn. Yeah, yawning is a release. Yawning, burping, farting, sneezing, those are all typically energy releases. So we welcome all of those because they're saying, yeah, I'm letting something go. Woo, I feel better. Pardon me, guys. Some things that you can do to help protect you through the holidays. You can carry crystals in your pockets. I'm not wearing my rings right now, but typically my favorite is the smoky quartz. I'm looking at my crystal bowl here to see if I have others I could show you that are good for protection. Turquoise is always good. Amethyst is great, especially if you're planning on drinking during the holidays. And here's another smoky quartz I have sitting around here. So I'm going to find my kyanite. Regular quartz is good. But honestly, there's any crystal, I could say, hey, use all these crystals, right? But what crystal is going to be best for you is the one that you feel resonating towards and the one that feels best to you. So you guys probably notice I wear a ton of turquoise. Turquoise is like my big crystal. I would say my two favorite are, as I throw it on the ground, smoky quartz and turquoise. My poor crystals get thrown around everywhere. There's another little kind of, I don't even know what this one is. It's kind of like a citrine or something. I don't know. It's got a little more color than a regular thing. So just feel what feels good to you. When you go pick out crystals, look what calls out to you versus what anybody tells you to get. And as you're out running around with families, shopping, or going to parties, remember to put your energy shields up. I know it sounds like kind of kooky. When somebody first told me about energy shields, I was like, you're wacky. That's weird. I don't like it. But now that I know how to do them, I'm like, ooh, these are like, I love it. These make me feel good. So, think of it like I almost sometimes think of it like Star Trek, shields up, poof, there we are. I'm protected. I'm a little weird the way that I believe, but that's okay. Weird is good. Weird is fun. And so if you guys ever need anything during the holidays where you're feeling overwhelmed, please reach out to someone. Even me, like if you have no one else to reach out to, just send me a freaking email. I might be slow to respond, but if someone needs me, I'm going to reach out to you and like try to support you. Because, it's this time of year, and I did not realize how bad it got for people. My brother-in-law works for the state of Arizona, and he's like pretty high up for the mental health system here. And he says like suicides and, abuse cases go up dramatically during this time of year. And I know it's kind of a dark subject, but it's because people don't know how to handle the holidays. They don't know how to handle the chaos of family and friends and, the feeling of the need, like we have to perform and we have to buy all this stuff. And you know what? If you don't feel up to spending time with your family, give yourself permission to leave early or stay at home if it's going to be too much for you. If you don't feel like you want to buy gifts, if someone's, like my kids hand me their lists and like, here, mom, but you don't have to buy something on someone's list. Give from your heart, bake some cookies, do what comes from your heart. Don't go do with what you feel like you have to do. And, give yourself permission to take care of you. Because, as the saying goes, you can't give from an empty cup, and so if your cup is empty, you're going to feel really overwhelmed. And so make sure you guys are getting enough sleep, taking your time to meditate, to journal, and to reconnect, and don't feel like you have to go and do things. I know last year my husband and I were so overwhelmed. I was like, I haven't got you a gift. He's like, I haven't got you anything either. And I was like, do you want to just do our gifts after Christmas? And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so we didn't get exchange gifts on Christmas last year because we knew we were going to have our own little special thing later, because it was just so overwhelming. We have 7 kids and 4 grandkids, and I'm one of 5 kids, and it was just too much. We're like, this is just too much. And so we just recognized, hey, it's okay. It's too much. We do that on Valentine's Day too now. We actually do not go out on Valentine's Day. We either go a couple days, a day or two before, or a day or two after, because we don't want to be overwhelmed with all the crowds and waiting in line at restaurants. And we don't like it. So we're like, our Valentine's Day is either the day before, day after, sometimes a week after, and we're cool with that, right? So just remember that you have permission to do whatever you need to keep healthy and happy and in harmonious balance during the holidays. So that is most of what I have for you guys today. Hopefully this was helpful. We'll have a lot more classes starting up after the first week of this year. Our Free Friday Healing calls are starting, and we're planning a lot of other classes as well. My journal is live on Amazon. If you guys are interested, it is the hardcover copy, but it is called My Spiritual Awakening is a Shit Show journal. And Amazon takes about 5 days to index that. So if you search for it and it's not popping up, that's why. So just try looking again. It definitely won't be available for Christmas, but it will definitely be available for New Year's resolutions and healing. And it's not just a journal, it's full of stuff like what we talked about in class today, things that can help you on your journey. It'll teach you more in depth how to do shielding and how to use your intuition and all the basic things that you need to know when life is just going crazy and feeling like it's just super overwhelming. Because I know when I first started with my spiritual awakening, it felt to me like someone had literally taken a fire hose and said, here, take a drink out of it. And it was like so overwhelming, and I had not many people to turn from, and I didn't turn to, and I didn't know how to learn things. And it was really overwhelming. And a lot of times I was very much alone. And so I created the journal in mind of like, what would I have needed when I was going through this? And I hope that it helps you guys too. So thank you, everyone, Shannon, Jess, Cassandra, Kathy, Shelly, and everybody else who's here on Zoom and TikTok. Thank you for allowing me to share my gifts with you. It makes my day. It's such a gift to me to be able to share this with you guys. And it makes me so happy to share. And those of you that are on TikTok and you're wondering if I'm going to do readings tonight, I'm not, but there's a high chance that I will sometime before Christmas. My son's coming home from the Army. We're picking him up on Friday, so it may not be until next week, but we'll see. I might even go live and show you my handsome son in his uniform. When he, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But until then, you guys have a beautiful, beautiful, wonderful day and a wonderful holiday. And just know that you are loved and that you were created from little sparkling dust of the universe. And so you are enough just the way that you guys are. And I love each and every one of you. Even if I don't know you, I'm sending you guys my love. So thank you so much, everybody. Have a beautiful day. And I will see you guys next time I'm live. I don't know when, but I will. So have an awesome day, guys. Bye, everyone.